Hello, everyone. Welcome to Open Mainframe Summit here in Las Vegas. My name is John Mertic, Executive Director of the Open Mainframe Project. We have a great lineup of talks around this event here, and I just want to kick off the whole day and the whole group of talks. I first want to make a big thank out to our program committee. We had a lot of people that helped step up this year to not only help us shape this event, because it's a little bit different than we've done in the past, but at the same time helped curate and pull together some amazing content that is going to mean something to everybody who's in a mainframe, or whether you're new into the space, whether you're an end user, a vendor, a developer, somebody from the business side of the house. We have a lot of varied great content: ZOS, ZLinux, Zoe, COBOL. So a big thanks to this group of people here who have put a lot of work into helping not only build a great program, but also build a really solid event. And I also invite you to join us again in New York City for the second part of our Open Mainframe Summit. This is a part of the Open Source and Finance Forum event on November 1st. This is going to be an event that's really going to be focused on the financial services industry. So the talks you see here are going to be really tailored at individuals in that area, but also individuals in different areas of the business, so outside of the mainframe, but helping them become more aware of the great work that's happening in the mainframe space. If you want to learn more, there's a QR code right on your screen. I invite you to kind of take a scan of it, and you can see what the program's all about. So before you all kind of dig into the rest of the talks that are a part of this event, I want to kind of touch on a few real high-level things that have really moved this community forward over the past year. And it's really important just to sort of think about why we're all here. What is this all about? It's not just open source for open source sake, but it's open source for truly building that shared asset for this entire mainframe ecosystem to leverage and also to be a part of. And we can see here from the numbers, 1,700 plus, contributors, 58 million lines of code added, over 60 organizations participating over the last 3 years. This is the sign that this community is coming together and doing some amazing, amazing work. And that's really what we're here to do, is to help be a home for the open source that is making a huge difference on moving the mainframe forward. Do want to call out a couple of really cool things that are happening in a few of our projects. First is on the Zoe side. It's 5 years old. And this was really not our first project, but really the first one that really got into the consciousness of the mainframe community, of not just what open source was about, but what open source could do to revitalize and drive forward this ecosystem. There's a lot of great stuff that Zoe has done. We've seen nothing but really positive things happening over the last couple of years here. If you just look at it from a value perspective here, over 270,000 lines of code here. And one thing to really think about, and we use an estimate methodology called the Kokomo method, and it's using a tool from David Wheeler called slot count. It goes into saying, well, what does the economic value of a tool like Zoe look like? And you can see here, with nearly 64,000 commits, if one were to go recreate Zoe, it would be almost a $9 million investment to make happen. So think about that as you're sitting here watching this. $9 million of economic engineering value that is right here in open source that your organization can take advantage of. That's really where the power of open source kicks in for everybody in a larger ecosystem. And we're seeing the uptick happen. We've went from, nascent usage, just 3 years ago, to now we're almost have 40% of, end users using Zoe in some sort of production setting. And you can see here, that's almost a doubling, we're seeing every year, 0 to 19, 19 to 38. We're just seeing that continued trend up there. The proof is really in it. The proof of whether these technologies are valuable to the market is on the usage. And we're seeing this. And a big thanks to the Arcady Mainframe Yearbook for helping give some of this data. Additionally, it's really, really important, if you're doing a open source project like this, is to have a good, solid training infrastructure underneath it. And we've partnered with Interskill, who has built a great fundamentals for Zoe course. To date, they've had thousands of folks that have taken. It's one of their most popular courses that's on their entire platform. But these are the things that, as you are as an organization, maybe for you internally, or perhaps for you as a vendor, looking to build your solutions on, is how can I find the talent that understands this technology? Looking for folks that have went through courses like this is the way to go. And there's going to be more of these trainings to come. But, I point these things out because, 5 years in, you're seeing that maturation beginning to happen on the Zoe side. You're seeing the huge investment from a code base perspective. You're seeing the growth of end users. And now you're seeing the enablement of developers and administrators for people that can actually take and leverage this technology, a hiring market around it. It's huge steps forward. It's really a sign of really a project that is growing and solidifying within the ecosystem. So we got a lot more going on than just Zoe here. We are really excited to announce a new project, which was contributed from IBM, called Glossa. And this is a project that existed for a while, and it really focuses on integration testing across platforms and helping enable a DevOps pipeline across a number of different architectures. What's unique about this is this comes from the mainframe space. This was a tool that was written around ZOS DevOps automation that was then expanded to have all sorts of other platforms. So having a mainframe first approach ensures that mainframe is sort of that first class citizen when it comes to your testing, but you can still have a fully unified testing framework. There's a lot of great stuff going on in Glossa. There's another talk that you can watch on our YouTube channel here and learn a little bit more about it. And we really invite you to check it out. And we welcome Glossa to the Open Mainframe Project family. Growing in the family is our Mainframe Open Education project. And this is a project launched a few years ago with the idea of how do we open source all of this mainframe learning and knowledge transfer so that everyone can benefit from it. So you don't have repeated efforts that are happening all over the place. Instead, you have a central area where all this knowledge can sit. Well, we're really excited to announce that this project has graduated, and graduated to the active stage means that they have built a diverse community across a number of different organizations. They've put processes and policies in place to ensure a sustainable project. They've really helped cement their contribution, otherwise policies. And what we see is when projects put those things together, the output work is that much stronger. And then it means for you as a consumer and a user of this, you're able to trust that this is a strong upstream project that you can depend upon. We have a great talk on where the current state of mainframe open education is. It's on our YouTube channel here, and we really invite you to check it out and get involved. There's a lot of great areas to contribute some of your knowledge in there as well. And last year at Open Mainframe Summit, we announced that we are acquiring a mainframe, and we're still working on it. It is still coming together here. It's a really, really exciting resource. It's the first time a resource for community infrastructure development has ever existed. Is at least in the context of being able to support open source software on not just Linux on Z, but also ZOS and potentially more operating systems over time. I want to do a big thank to 3 or 4 organizations here that have been a key part of making this happen. Broadcom Mainframe Software, who donated this mainframe, IBM, who's been working with us on software and services and all those pieces for the software that's going to run on this, Maris for being a home for this, and Viacom Infinity for helping us advise and work through this process. It's a huge undertaking for this community, but we're super excited to see this coming together. And more to come here in the coming weeks of what this is looking like. So we have a lot of other great, strong keynotes I invite you to check out here that are on our YouTube channel here. Joe Winchester has a great talk around some of the customer success stories around using Zoe. I definitely invite you to check that out. We have Lisa Sears, who's one of our who's leading our Glossa project, one of our newer people here in the Open Mainframe community, and leading a panel around diversity in the mainframe community. So we definitely invite you to check that out as well. And Elizabeth Joseph, global head of the OSPO for IBM Z, looking at illuminating pathways for our future innovators, talking about our mentorships and other programs that are bringing the next generation in. I invite you to check out these talks. We have a ton of other talks on our YouTube channel. Check those out. And I really hope you enjoy the sessions we had here for Open Mainframe Summit Las Vegas.